Hello everyone and welcome. It is I, SkinnyDude. I have not been around for a long time because, as you can tell, I've moved. So that's good. Yeah, sorry. I've had a cast on for the past few days and, well, no, okay, a few months. And, well, I just got it off. So I'm still a little hurting there. Anyway, I'm here for Hearthstone, the new set, One Night in Karazhan, updates with all the cards that have been released so far. Alright, so let's dive in. Our first one is a 1 mana for a 2/2 Enchanted Raven. Now, it's not as good as the old Zombie Chow, but you know, I mean, it's still a beast, which means for Druid, and it's Druid only. So, which means that since this is a beast, you could do that and then Mark of Yasharge it, and now you have a 4/4 beast, and you draw a card. So, and that would be on turn 2, which is pretty threatening for most other decks to deal with. And then you have other cards you can use with it. As being a 1-drop, it can now be dropped from the Raptor. So your 3/2 dies and now can summon a 2/2. It's also good for Beast Druid. Let's see, what other things would it work with? I think that's about it for now that I can think of, at least off the top of my head. Alright, so the next card. Now, the next one is interesting. It's for Hunter. It's called the Kindly Grandmother. 2 for a 1/1 Death Rattle, and it summons a 3/2 Big Bad Wolf. Now, that Big Bad Wolf is a beast too, which means it can get all the boosts from Houndmaster that it wants. And look at these. So, Death Rattle Hunter is definitely a thing. Maybe Blizzard just assumed, oh, we don't have a 2-mana creature for them to use that would be efficient. I mean, they used the Toad, but you know, they used the Toad, and I've seen decks that run Loot Hoarder, but that's just because. Is it going to be better than the Toad? I think so. I mean, that's what? A 4/3 worth of stats for 2 mana split across 2 bodies? I mean, yeah, it might not seem that good, but I mean, it could also come back with Nazoth. So, did I think that Hunter really needed it? No. But it's definitely something to consider, I guess, when you're going to go up against someone who plays Fiery Bat turn 1, and then Kindly Grandmother turn 2, and then Forlorn Stalker turn 3, which basically can pump these up in his hand. So he has a 4/4 Infested Wolf, and if he draws a Savannah Highmane, now that's a 7/6. So I mean, do I think Death Rattle Hunter needed it? No. And plus, Princess here can also trigger it. Sorry about that. Alright. Next card. Raven Grimoire. Now, I definitely think that's an interesting card. Oops, sorry. Go to Death Rattle and go back to Mage. So, now, card draw in Hearthstone is basically worth like 1 mana. So, seeing that it's a 1 mana for 1/1, it's not card draw, but you get to add a random spell, mage spell, to your hand, which can range from Arcane Missiles to Pyroblast. I mean, I think it's really good compared to what it could give you. Like, it could give you Blizzard or Flame Strike. Then again, it could also give you something like probably the worst one, which would be, where is it? Shatter. I mean, of course, if you have something frozen, it's great. But if you don't have something frozen, then it's not that good, obviously. So if you're, it's still a 1 mana for 1/1 that can be played on turn 1. So is it a body? Yeah. Is it much of a threat? No. But it's still there, so it could still hit and possibly kill something in the future. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. I believe that will now also be in the cycle for Mounted Raptor. Yeah. But I could be wrong with that. Are you really going to be playing that over Mana Worm? Does some sort of Reno Fat Mage might need it? Maybe. Is another 1-drop. Wouldn't be bad, but then again. Yeah, that seems to be the only 1-drop for mages. Next card to talk about. Alright. Firelands Portal. It is a 7 mana to deal 5, and then summon a 5-cost minion. Well, okay. I'm going to talk about a few things first. That could summon a Throw Conjurer, or it could summon one of these here. Yeah, it could now summon the new VGH, which would probably be one of the worst outcomes. But, on the high end, it could probably summon an Earth Elemental. So, you gotta pick and choose your odds here. I don't think Blizzard realized what that this has done to Arena, because since it's a new expansion, it already gets a percentage boost of appearing in the arena when it comes out. Plus, it's an... I'm gonna get it wrong. I know it is. Plus, it's a common. I was about to say uncommon. Plus, it's a common. Which means it'll appear even more than other cards. So if you're playing a mage, expect to see this 9 times out of 10 in a deck. Probably they're going to be multiples. I mean, would you play this in this normal standard mode? Maybe, but I mean, it doesn't seem horrible. It's not too good, because would you rather have that or a Flame Strike? I mean, I'd rather have the Flame Strike, because I can kill more things, but then again, if it summons an Earth Elemental, you know, you gotta weigh out the odds here, like, what's better, what's not. Alright, moving on. I'm just doing quick little run-throughs here, because there's a good number of them. The Ivory Knight for Paladin. Alright, so this one I'm going to take a little bit to talk about. Alright, so his battle cry is that you discover a spell, and then you restore health to your hero equal to its cost. Sorry, I'm looking at him on my phone. Which means that could discover anything from one of the one-drop secrets, so you heal 1, to something like... Oh, that's wrong, sorry. Something like anything can happen. So theoretically, this could give Murloc Pally another anything can happen. Do they really need that? No. But it's still another tool that they can use. Plus it's 6 for 4/4. But if they get that, obviously your opponent knows, oh, he's got anything can happen. If they get a 6 mana drop, a 6 mana, if they heal 6, you can bet your money they either got Enter the Coliseum or Avenging Wrath. So they're not always set in stone. But I mean, probably one of the best ones would be Lay on Hands. So you heal 8, and then next few turns later you play Lay on Hands, heal another 8, and then draw 3. Which is insane. So for 5s, they would have like they could heal 5 from Holy Wrath. Or, yeah, heal 5 from Holy Wrath, and then next turn draw a card and him probably kill something. Which is pretty scary. Yeah, it's got no subtype, which I'm fine with, because I think Pally fits in dragons and murlocs, but that's just me. And of course it could be Blessing of Kings. That was not it. So you heal 4 and you can give something 4/4, which gives you a third copy of a probably really good spell that you need. I'd say most Pally spells are pretty good compared to other ones that they really don't need. Like even if they grab a Humility, they heal 1. And the thing too is that your opponent won't really know what it is if it's 1. I mean if it's 6 they can kind of either bet one or the other, Enter the Coliseum or Avenging Wrath. Yeah. But if it's 1 mana, it could be any secrets here. But anyway. It does seem Forbidden Healing would give you 0, obviously, but then if you save it till turn 10, you can heal for 20. So it depends on if you want to have the long run haul or... Basically, they get a free spell that they get to discover, and they heal from it. Sure, is it 6 for 4/4? Yeah, but... In my mind, I just think it's a little bit broken compared to other ones we've seen. Alright, next one. I like this one. I like this one a lot for some reason. 5 mana... Rogue card, Ethereal Peddler. Battle Cry. Reduce the cost of cards in your hand from other classes by 2. So, what this is telling me is that... Are they trying to plan to have some sort of other combos with Burgle and Husker? Undercity Husker? Plus, I learned this the other day, another card being that they can reduce the cost of would be Grand Crusader's Paladin card that they give, because that's from another class. So, are we looking at maybe an archetype later on in the future where Rogue can reduce copies of cards that they've stolen? It looks like it. I mean, and plus 5 or a 5/6, that's premium stats. So that's not like, if it's like 5 for like a 4/4, not many people play, but even in Arena, you'd probably grab this even if you don't have like any cards that can copy opponent's cards, just for the fact that it's for 5/6. I think the only card that I can think of that matches this in terms of stats without any boosts or anything is the Pit Fighter, which I don't think, yeah, right here, is the Pit Fighter, because it's 5 for 5/6, but it's like, in my mind, I think it's pretty good. I like it. I'll be trying to make a deck around it. It seems fun. Next card. I'm going to pass it around. Malchazar's Imp. Okay, so we're getting more Zoo. Okay. Do they really need more 1-drops? Probably not. But I think because it's a demon too, it can fit in some sort of demon lock decks. So, example. Maltajar's Imp. 1 mana, 1/3. Whenever you discard a card, draw a card. So Maltajar's Imp's out. This last card in your hand. You use it. You hit for 4, and then you get to draw. Now, I'm not 100% certain on how cards like Doomguard would work. Because whenever you discard a card, draw a card. So will it be Doomguard and then you draw 2? If it's that case, then that means that Deathwing is gonna let you basically be able to. Oh no, my bad. No, because I think the imp would die before the Deathwing would trigger. All right, never mind. Sorry, I thought like if you just discard your hand, you get to draw a new one, but that's not how that would work. If it was, I'd say that'd be insane, like OP. Like you don't need that. But so that, and even if you play some sort of like you play that, and then you play some sort of like discard deck, like Succubus. So Maltajar's Imp turn 1, you have a 1/3 out. The opponent probably can't kill it unless they coin it in like Warrior with a Fiery War Axe or a Shaman, and they use Rock Rider weapon, something like that. But instead, this time you play down Maltajar's Imp, and then you play Succubus. So now that 2 for the 4/3, sure you discarded a card, but now you draw one. Or how about Darkshire Librarian? Its battle cry is you discard a random card. Okay, so again you lose a card. Because Maltajar's Imp's out, you draw a card, and then when she dies, you draw another card. So this Imp's looking pretty good, I gotta say. Like, discard. So, okay, this is probably best case scenario. Now, let me just do that. Yep, sorry, I don't have all the cards. Like, in that case, too, does that mean that if you use Dark Bargain when you have Maltajar's Imp out, you destroy 2 things for 6 mana, you get rid of 2 cards, and then you draw 2 more? Is that what that's telling me? Like, if so, it's gonna be pretty sick. So, like, turn 1 Maltajar's Imp, turn 2 Succubus. Let's say the Succubus discards Fist of Jaraxxus. So now, you play the Succubus, you get to deal 4 to something, and then you get to draw. Yeah. That seems pretty crazy to me. But that's just me thinking. And I mean, maybe there'll be a discard subclass for Warlock now. Whenever you discard a card, you gain 1/1. I see they're trying to build it up. Trying to do something here with it. Okay. On to the next card. And plus, you can sack pack this if for some reason you need 5 health. Okay, next card. Karazhan. Summon a 1/1 candle, a 2/2 broomstick, and a 3/3 teapot for 5 mana. See, this one was just released today. So, yeah, it seems good for Zoo, I guess, if you want to play that. You have Councilman out turn 3. You coin this out turn 4. Your Councilman now would be a 4/5. Plus you have these 3 other minions out. Which is 6/6 divided up amongst 3 bodies. Things to remember there. Oh, also, Bane of Doom now basically becomes weaker due to Maltajar's Imp. So that way you can, if you Bane of Doom and kill something, you don't get like a Doom Guard. You could get just a Maltajar's Imp. Oh, excuse me. Maltajar's Imp. So that's something to consider too. Okay. I like the 3 tools there. I like how they have kind of like a miniature fairy tale theme going on. I mean, come on, they got like, was it a candle, a broom, and a teapot? It seems kind of like, Disney. And then Kindly Grandmother's Little Red Riding Hood, obviously. So we'll see if there's any more fairy tale things coming out. Probably not. I'm probably just crazy, but to me it seems like it. Alright, moving on. This art, for some reason, I really like. I don't know why. I think because it's like chess pieces fighting each other, but it's Protect the King, 3 mana. For each enemy minion, summon a 1/1 Palm with Taunt. Okay. So, does that mean now your opponent, you're playing like against Zoo. So this would be like in case you're playing against Zoo. You summon a bunch of 1/1s, they got Taunt, and then let's say you bolster. Now you have like an army of 3/3s. On turn, possibly, it would have to be 4 the earliest, because you play Protect the King, and then you could coin in Bolster. But still, you now have a bunch of 3/3s with Taunt. I mean, that's something to consider, right? I mean, it seems good to me that you can fill your board up with that, and plus it would probably slow down your opponent if they're gotta fight them all. But of course, being warrior and dealing 1 damage to everything, it kind of, in my mind, seems like it works out. Like, it would prevent you from playing, like the ghoul. Of course, that could definitely help the frothing. Because now you have a big army of taunts. So when those take damage, to absorb a hit, frothing would get bigger. Yeah, so those are just some other things to consider. Alright. Moving on. Bookworm. 6 mana for a 3/6 battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, destroy an enemy minion with 3 or less attack. So now Dragon decks besides Corruptor can, like, Corruptor can definitely kill off something, but if for some reason that something is got a lot of health and is tanky, hence the Bookworm. But now if you're fighting Dragon Priest versus Dragon Priest, it's basically like, oh, Bookworm, well, I'm gonna Bookworm your Bookworm. Oh, here comes my other Bookworm to Bookworm your Bookworm. I think the fact that Bookworm has 3 attack and can basically be killed by itself, it kind of seems like it does even out. Oh, plus, Mookla's Champion back with the pawns and with the minions that the Warlock summons. The Candle, Broom, and Teapot, those could all get bigger from Mookla. Some stuff to consider. Yeah, so I think I would probably be putting Bookworm in a deck, because let's see this right now. So if we were to look up dragons. Alright, not 6. Okay. I meant to just do dragon. Alright, sorry. It's getting mad at me. Don't get mad at me, game. Fine, I'll just type it again. 6. Alright, so here's what we got. You can either play down 6 mana for a 9/9 beater, if they're at 15. Let's assume that this is early, though. So you don't get them down to 15 health, because Dragon Priest tries to control the board most of the time to be able to play in the late game and win. Volcanic Drake. Are you really going to sacrifice a bunch of your dudes to pull this guy for free? Maybe. Is 6 mana for a 6/4 that good? It's alright. I mean, Skill Nightmare. This card never really took off that much, because it's a little slow to get started. But now, Bookworm here. I think this is the 6 shot that they needed. That, plus a few Draconic cartridges, I think they're set for the 6th spot. I don't think they'll have any problem with that. I still wish Shrinkmeister was back in the meta. Back in standard, I should say. Because that would lead to so many better combos. Oh, hang on. Do I even still have a Shrinkmeister? Hang on a minute. I'm just looking for... Yeah. So you have a Shrinkmeister, something with 4 health, and then you Bookworm it. So they're like, oh, you Sarah, what are you gonna do? Oh, you're a priest. You can't do anything. Yeah, haha. Shrinkmeister Bookworm. Just killed off your Sarah. Yeah, see, it kind of stings, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Next on the list. Alright, we're going to start by talking about the legendaries. Alright. Moros. 3 mana for a 1/1 with stealth. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 steward. Now, is this going to be very good? I want to say no. Sure, does it only die to AoE? Yeah. Is there a lot of AoE out? I think so. Another thing you gotta consider is that, okay, it's a 3 mana for 1/1. Let's say we pump him. Still not gonna be too terrific. This guy's also now in the pool with Jeweled Scarab, which is right here. So now you can get him from Jeweled Scarab. You can now get him from the Monkey. You can now get him from another legendary I'm going to be showing you a bit later. 2 legendaries, actually. So it also triggers with Knife Juggler. So yeah, Knife Juggler. Somehow Knife Juggler survives some miracle way. Morose, and then you can Knife Juggler for 2, which is not exactly horrible. The thing that I'm trying to connect it with now is... Where is he? Where are you? Hogger. Yeah. What? Oh, I thought it was alphabetized for a second. I was so confused. Here he is. Hogger. 6 mana for 2/2 for 4/4 that summons 2/2s, so it's 6 mana for basically a 6/6 that summons taunts. Seems pretty good to me. But something to consider is now Moros is half that mana, which would be like, okay, be half his stats, a 2/2. Okay, he's got stealth, we'll take off attack and health from him, and there we go. But now you would think maybe it's someone 1/1s with taunt, just like Hogger. Nah, these are just 1/1 stewards. Can Zoo use them? Yeah. Are they ever? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you can Argus it. Yeah, you can Sun Fury Protector it. But why? When you have better things you can use. I'm sure somebody's going to find some sort of combo that works well. The enemy of the Moros would be Warrior. Ready? Hang on. That's why. Okay, he can't kill him. He can't kill him. Dead, dead, and dead. These three alone just could kill Moros. Yeah, so do I see this card as being very good? No. I think of all the legendaries on the list that have been revealed so far that I'm going to show you, I don't think he's too terrific compared to them. But anyway, we'll move on. Next guy, which I can tell is going to be a staple in a bunch of decks, is Barnes. Okay, 4 mana, 3/4, Battlecry. Summon a 1/1 copy of a random minion in your deck. First reaction people have is, oh, I know. Oh, where'd he go? I'm just passing. Bam, Malygos. So now you have a 4 mana, 3/4, and a 1/1 with spell damage +5. Druids. Moonfire. 0 mana, deal 6 to something. Deal 7 to something. Basically, they have a lot of ways of how to hit for damage that wouldn't be that hard for Druids to do if they literally were just ran Barnes, Malygos, and maybe some other ones. Oh, okay. Adel Grizzly with... Back to Moros. Adel Grizzly with Moros. Yeah, okay. You have a 3 mana with a 2/2 with stealth, and he summons 2/2s, considering that the Adel Grizzly survives for a while. I don't see that being too big and scary. I'm sorry, but... No, I don't think there's going to be many Moroses running around. He's one of those kind of dead legendaries. Anyway, back to Barnes. So Barnes can be really good in that aspect. The way that I thought that I haven't seen people talk about yet much online is with Ragnaros. Sure, Ragnaros can attack. He's a 1/1 now. And he can bam, shoot for 8 damage. Something I'm wondering about, is it the same thing with Herald Village? Because Herald Village is what people compare him to also. Herald Village is a 1/1. Well, okay, my bad. 6 for a 5/5, and he summons 1/1s to match the guys on your board. So, if for instance you Herald Village, and then if you silence them, they go back up to the original stats. Is that the same thing with Barnes? If so, I would not mind having 4 mana for a 3/4 with a 4/12 and silence it, and now have 4 mana with a 3/4 and a 4/12 out on turn 4. Yes, that's pretty scary to think about if it does work. Alright, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other legendaries to talk about that would work well with them. But I'm going to keep going. Next guy. The Curator. 7 mana for a 4/6 with Taunt. Now that seems fun. I can see this in Reno decks. People be like, why would I ever play a Beast, a Dragon, and a Murloc? 7 mana for 4/6 Taunt, Battlecry, and he draws all three of those. Even if you're just playing 2, really. He'll still draw you cards. Here's how I look at it in a Reno deck. Ready? We got Azure Drake. Bam, he can draw. We got 6 mana, Cold Light. No, that's not something right. Cold Light Seer. And for the last one I was going to say that's really good is the Kodo. So he can draw a card that gives you spell damage and can give you another card. He can draw a potential removal, like Stamping Kodo, and he can draw a potential board clear. And he has Taunt. If he didn't have Taunt, I'd be like, alright, but he's a 7 mana for a 4/6 with Taunt. That's still pretty scary to think about. Definitely things to consider, even if you're just running, like, even just the Azure and the Kodo in a deck, and you're not running the Cold Seer. That Curator seems pretty scary. And of course, that Beast can be any of the beast druid things for beast druid, so it'd be like any of the beasts plus the Azure Drake or curator out, and then you draw those. Don't try this, but it's possible. Where is he? Since it's a mech, yes, you can get it from GorillaBot A3. Yep. So don't try it. If you somehow get him somehow from GorillaBot, which you don't recommend you try, but if you do, you can play the curator, I guess. Alright, moving on to the last guy. The one that I think is the I'm most excited for to see, who just came out today. Prince Malchezaar. 5 mana for 5/6 at the start of your turn. Shuffle 5 random legendary minions into your deck. Something I didn't notice till just now. He's a demon. So yeah, Warlocks could get him from, like we talked about earlier, Bane of Doom. So sure, do they get Malchezaar's Imp to lower the chances of getting Malchezaar? Yeah. But you could also get Malchezaar, so I think that pretty much evens out in some extent. Imagine that. Let's say you have a really good taunt out, like the Curator. And this is like late game, I mean like turn 10. So Curator's out. Let's say you have Prince Malchezaar in your hand. You play him down to turn 10, and then bam, faceless. If those both survive, you now have 10 legendaries in your deck. Every turn you get 5. It's not like a one turn thing. Who else is jumping for joy? Because of this, Mill Rogue, Mill Druid, even Fat Warrior gets advantages from this. So yeah, that seems pretty good to me. I'm excited to play him. So if somebody could look into that Malchezaar's Imp thing, seeing if I play Malchezaar's Imp, and then if I Doomguard, am I gonna draw 2 cards? Is that what that's telling me, or am I not gonna do that? So does it? I mean, would I just draw 1 card because it's 1 instance, or does it count each discard as an instance? How's that gonna work? If somebody could let me know in the comments, that'd be great. All right, guys, I know this video was long, but thanks for sticking with me. And then I have a few technical errors that happened, but it seems okay to me so far. I'm hoping to be doing more releases like this in the future. I'm hoping to get back into playing decks. Like I made a fun deck I might film called Options, where I'm going to make some changes, but it's all about having a handful of cards and I'll have a bunch of options. So that's why I call it Options. Alright guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed my first Hearthstone card reviews. Alright, I will catch you guys later. Bye.